Sorry to bust up the networking. We'll have plenty of time to do that this afternoon and this evening, and also into the dinner and after party extravaganzas that we have planned for you. For today's Lunch and Learn presentation, we've got an old friend of MediaPost, Tony Deanna, who's CEO of PostUp. Tony's been supporting our events for a long time, primarily in the email space for years, but now they've moved over to do more things with publishers, and he'll be telling you more and more about that. A good man, an all-around good man, an Austin, Texas guy, who makes you even a better man. Please give it up for Tony Deanna.
Okay, thank you, everybody. Hope you're enjoying your lunch and getting ready for the activities this afternoon. Yeah, I do love this show. I love coming to support MediaPost here at particularly the Publisher Summit. There was an email summit a few days earlier, and we attend those, but all of us email service providers, about 150 of them at that show, and it's a little bit tougher to actually get a chance to really meet prospects. Particularly the beauty of us as PostUp is that we're focused solely on media companies and publishers. So we do email marketing, and we have technology across the entire marketing chain and provide strategy and services for media companies specifically. And we've been doing that for almost 20 years. We've got over 150 publishers that we work with digitally, over 500 properties. Yeah, we've been laser focused on media companies and publishers, and that's what we do. So what I wanted to talk a little bit to you guys today about was kind of listening to all the panels. It's you can see an amazingly challenging business out there for you guys. And it's amazing what you all do to keep going, right, and keep figuring out better ways to build your audiences and be profitable. Without a doubt, what we love from an email perspective, and in the past, I'd say email was an afterthought for media companies, but I think as time goes on, it's become more and more obvious that you need to find diversified revenue streams and various other ways to monetize other than advertising. Advertising is not going away by any means, and it's going to be the core revenue stream for you guys for the future. But there are amazing ways to monetize, and one thing that we definitely I'll take you through is how email can be a catalyst for that, right? And building audiences and that direct audience and being a direct marketer. So actually, turning my slides. Thank you. Okay, so that's us. Sorry about that. 150. I had it all memorized. 153. Let me go here. But obviously, ad-driven media business and models under pressure. How can publishers evolve while also increasing average revenue per user for their properties? And that's the concept of. We really feel email could be a catalyst for that for you all. Okay, so one of the ways to leverage email is actually around what we call a content wall. Not necessarily a paywall, and it could be, but a content wall is an area that we're looking at. And most media companies that have an advertising model look at this and say, "Whoa, that's something that put that up there, a one size fits all." It's definitely something that is intimidating, without a doubt. But the concept is. There are many ways to leverage this. And really the goal is it's not a one-size-fits-all. I'm going to take you guys through some of the various ways to leverage a form of content wall. The goal here is to optimize the amount of advertising that you can get, but at the right time when the person's right and they've come back a certain amount of times, to make an offer to build a direct relationship. And I'll take you through some of the areas. But really the goal is how do you optimize revenue leveraging a direct relationship and an advertising model at the same time. So here are the four kind of variations of content walls. On the top left, you'll see what we consider a hard wall. And a hard wall is obviously Financial Times is an example of that, but not very good for driving advertising dollars. I'll take you guys through all the various pieces. The second one is a soft meter. What you see local newspapers typically, you'll see very often, will give you 5 articles per month or something like that. So that's something that you typically get in this way, and I'll take you through what are the pros and cons of all those. The third way is where you have premium content, but there's so you have free content, and then you actually pay for premium content. So that's the third piece. And then the fourth piece, what we're actually working on, is you have free content, and then you have metered premium content. So you give them a taste of the premium content, right? So these are all variations that there are different strategies for that I'll take you through. So pros and cons. On the hard wall, very stable revenue stream. Right, so your revenue stream is going to be, it's kind of like a SaaS business, like we have. We have monthly bills, and it comes in every month. You're not worried about eyeballs that month. This is something that is an annuity that you have. But obviously, you're cutting off all a lot of your traffic on Facebook and social. So you really have to have great brand recognition. Also, from a metered wall standpoint, you get the benefits in number two. You get the benefits from social and Google search, but you may lose potential subscribers to free. You also may lose revenue to bounces. So there's some pros and cons of that on the metered side. The premium subset, you retain some social traffic, so you can retain social traffic, but you must have really high quality content, and it could be very, very expensive to run. And on the fourth one, something that we've been working on, you get the benefits of social traffic, but you may lose potential subscribers to free as well. So paywalls can be personally experienced. Don't assume that you must have a one-size-fits-all approach, or even that the reader must pay at all, right? What matters is maximizing readers' flow down the lifetime of the revenue funnel. And that's the concept that I'm going to take you through. Here's an example of, it's not a one-size-fits-all. We have some customers that have paywalls, and they're trying to find what the actual number of articles for everyone, and it's the same for everyone we see. So it may be 3, it may be 2, it may be 1, but really people are different. They're coming from various places, and you need to really personalize the engagement. So here's an example of how machine learning can be very powerful when looking at when to make an offer to an individual. And here's an example of, you may have people coming in anonymously, and maybe after 3 visits, you would not make an offer, not for a subscription, but maybe a newsletter as the lowest level. And then over time, you can actually convert them to, maybe it's not from newsletter, after another, say, 6 visits, you can convert them to possibly maybe registered user to get more information. And then over time, being able to move them down the cycle to a more valuable person. So these are areas that we are testing out and working with our publishers to when is the right time to make that offer, but making sure that you minimize the amount of loss of revenue from an advertising perspective. Here's just an example of a paywall or something that you can use, which a really low-grade paywall. It's like, just make an offer for a newsletter. You've come back 5 times. Why not sign up for a newsletter, and let's start building a direct relationship. But not doing it everybody the first time or everybody the second time, but doing it in a way that is personalized. So here's an example of having different strategies for different channels. So if someone's coming from Facebook, you would actually maybe say that, hey, if they come back twice in a day, then make that offer maybe to sign up for a newsletter. For Google, you want to make sure that you have a different scenario where possibly it's maybe because you want to make sure that you don't mess up any of the natural listings from a search standpoint. So you may want to make an example where maybe it's 3 times in a day. But the concept here would be for first-time visits, give them as many articles as they want if it's a direct customer. But maybe when they come back the second time, then you make an offer for that. So once again, it's really being personalized. And what's beautiful about this is that you can do it in a way where you can test small samples of your audience. You don't need to roll it out to your entire audience. We partner with publishers. We integrate with Google Analytics. And then what we do is we take small samples of them, and we make sure that we're not negatively impacting your KPIs, your page views, your revenue, all of this time of session. All that stuff can be tested in a way that really minimizes any kind of negative impact, and then you don't roll it out to your audience until you've actually proven that it's going to be working. So here's an example of, this is a cross-section of of many of our publishers that we've done audience development for, and we've got a summary level data of showing the lifetime value and return visits of different channels. And you can see how on the top portion, 48%. Actually for Facebook actually returned, but the lifetime page views are quite low. People are more one and done. They read that article, they go back to Facebook. But as you go down the chain, you can see when people sign up for a newsletter, they are 95% of the time coming back to your site, and the lifetime page views, including the inbox opens, go up a dramatic amount. So the concept here is these people are your most passionate users. And if they're willing to open a relationship with you and provide your email address, you now they've really given you, they open the door to communicating with them. And also it gives you as a marketer the ability to market, whether it's subscriptions or other premium products, in some cases could be commerce, but other areas. You're now, this is your most really prized possession. And email really, we believe, is an enabler for that. So just high level, the economics of email, just from a standpoint of, it does four really powerful things. One is you can reach an email subscriber at your control. You have access to their inbox. In many cases, through Facebook, you're at the mercy of the news feed, right, and the algorithm. With email, you actually can deliver something. And, many of our clients are news organizations, breaking news alerts, or the evening update. People are waiting for those. You get up in the morning, you have that all the latest stuff is there. But you can reach your audience at the time that you choose. Really powerful. You control exactly what they see, whether it's your articles, your editors have total control. I'll take you guys through a little bit of the way we like to automate and give editors the ability to have flexibility, but not having to build their own emails. So really personalized scale. Some of our clients have 400 or 500 newsletters automated, but have the ability to change headlines and do things in a really powerful way. And obviously you know who these people are, so that's another powerful piece. And then you can also monetize off-site. So these are all key things, and really the key here is email as a paid subscription driver. You have all these ability, at this point you have the ability to market to these individuals and you can convert them. We talk a lot here around, and everything we do around our programs are ROI driven. So it's really, email is one beautiful thing because you have all the data in front of you. So we can look at the size of your audience and say you've got 10 million people coming to your site a month. Well, you only have 200,000 people on your list. We think you should be able to have 1 million people on your list, at least 1% of your audience on your list. And then we can look and see your open rates and say, well, you're only at 20% open rate. We have the ability to be able to say, here's where your program is today, and here's where it's going to be, here's where we could take it in a year. And then we can do ROI across the whole thing and say, here's how it pays. And we could even do performance opportunities where we only get paid if we can actually drive additional engagement and revenue and opportunity for you guys. So it's something that we kind of live in. And the beautiful part on the bottom end of it, the premium subscriptions, if you get to that point, and your business may not be there today, but at some point down the road, if you've got a nice engaged audience around email, you could turn that on pretty easily because you've already built up that loyalty with those individuals. If you've taken care of them with great content, and you're most likely to potentially pay you $10 a month or something for maybe a subset of content that's really powerful. Right. So just an example, if you were to get $10 a month from an individual. $120 a year at a $10 CPM is 12,000 page views for one individual, right? So if you can get 0.1% of your audience to do that, you can do really powerful things with your revenue. And once again, it may not be something that your business is ready for today, but it may be ready for a newsletter and a really powerful newsletter program to build up that direct audience. And at some point, it may be. And then obviously we talked about the examples up front of the Wall Street Journal, the Financial Times. I mean, these are businesses that were founded on that piece. And many of the new technology companies are pure advertising are now looking at saying, wow, these are opportunities for us to really diversify our revenue stream. So just a quick here. Here's a couple new clients that we've actually done audience development for over the past year and really showed the ability to really drive some really powerful incremental list growth. Tastemade on the left-hand side and Liftable Media over the past year, we've worked with them and partnered with them to do audience development, and we've significantly grown their databases, open rates, engagement, and all the stuff I was talking about earlier to really create a powerful program. So that's what we do. The beautiful part about what we do for publishers is that all we do is email. I could take the next slide really shows how we look at it. We break it into 3 key components. One is around audience development on the top left, where you could see everything from really building that audience, being intelligent, making sure you're not negatively impacting your revenue and your advertising KPIs. On the right-hand side, it's monetization. And while we're not an ad network, we work closely with Live Intent and others to help monetize those newsletters. We also have capabilities within our platform for promotional ads to do inventory management to do yield management for those high CPM dollar full page promotional ads for publishers. And on the bottom part is really the core of who we are. And we are, an email platform, a deployment engine, but we don't focus on doing it for retailers. We're not doing manual deployments for promotions for big retail, stores. We really build automation for editorial staffs to be able to scale a program but have flexibility. And we do that with integrations into our CMSs. We actually have a bunch of automation. We have breaking news alerts where if you're a news organization, we can actually fetch content from your site and pull it into a template. But we're always trying to figure out how can we do this for media companies to make their lives easier, because it's a very different work environment than it is for a retailer. And that's how we really compete, is that we focus solely on media companies and publishers. And I think that is it. Usually go pretty quick. Well, thank you guys very much, and appreciate it. We're here if you guys have any questions. Awesome.
Thanks, Tony. That's a before and after picture there. Look at that.
Wow.
No, that picture over there. We gotta get you updated.
Exactly.
You're all svelte now. This is awesome. Thank you again, Tony. Tony, well, I've known Tony for a while. I can say that. I've known you for a while. So a big round of applause for Tony. Thank you so much. Great stuff. Tony, you've got a team here. I know, where's James and Andrew? Are you guys in the room? James and Andrew, raise your hand. Okay, Post Up guys are here. So if you have questions for them, get with them over the course of the next couple of days. Interesting stuff, and always some great innovations coming out of their group. So thank you. Okay, afternoon activities, it's time. We've got, everything is taking off at 1:50 from the Ritz lobby. If you're playing golf, we'll have vans to take you over to the golf course. It's about a 10-minute drive. If you're biking or if you're kayaking, again, 150 right out there. We do have a couple more spaces for biking